Race fans, good evening and welcome to the Finger Lakes region of central New York. That's right, we're coming off of the high banks and onto the winding roads here at Watkins Glen International in the heart of wine country. It's just after 8 p.m. East Coast time, and that means the Metalhead Truck Series is time to invade your homes and onto your phones here as they get ready to light up this iconic road course. Good evening, Matt Metler up here in the GRN broadcast booth as always, as we get ready, strapped in to get set ready to rock and roll here for 110 miles of the high-flying, high-octane racing action right here on GRN. Let's go ahead and pull up tonight's race information, throw that up on the big screen so you guys can follow along at home. This racetrack, 2.42 miles in length, has all the elevation change and all the high speeds and hard braking zones that your heart could possibly desire. Ambient, or I should say track temperature clocking in at just over the century mark at 101 degrees Fahrenheit. Weather, it's a spicy one for upstate New York this time of the year, clocking in at 85 degrees ambient air temperature, 22% relative humidity, so these trucks going to be making all the power under the hoods. Partly cloudy skies, and that wind at an elusive 4 miles an hour should be a non-factor here this evening. I know it says City Watkins Glen, however, right outside the beautiful town of Elmira, and quite frankly, some of the best camping on the NASCAR circuit right here as this field begins to roll off behind that iRacing.com pace truck. Go ahead and get the graphics up on the screen for you folks at home tonight. Also, cannot thank enough our race sponsor this evening. Johnny Johnson's on board tonight with the Metalhead Truck Series, main race sponsor this evening. Want to thank them for their commitment to support the cause here in the Metalhead Truck Series, as we're now on our warm-up lap here from Watkins Glen. While we have a moment here, let's actually take the tower back down and throw up our starting lineup here this evening. Again, is the field on our pace lap. Starting on that pole position, Isaac Smallwood. Outside of him, and P number 2 from North Carolina, Caleb Kleinert. Starting in third, Nick Gardner. David Taylor starts inside the top 5 in that 4th place position, while Matt Hayden rounds out your top 5. 6 is Kevin in that 17 machine, while 7th belongs to another Matt in the field here tonight, and that 318 machine rolls off 7th. Ashley Ellison Jr. rounds out your top 8, while Michael Madden rolls off 9th up there in the Northeast, not too far from this racetrack. Daniel Dow rounds out your top 10, while Rusty Modesty and Keith Prince round out your top 12. Go ahead and cycle these a little bit more further down for you guys so we can follow along. 14th belongs to Nate Cogdell. And again, I'm still learning these names, so if I butcher them, I do apologize. Jesse Kellaway rounds out your top 15, while Mark Haas's boss Beverly starts in that 16th place position. Look for him. That's interesting. 2 Haas Beverleys out there tonight, so I'm going to have to work on that on the graphic side of things. Britt Summers starts 18th as that iRacing.com pace truck gets ready to pull off as we get strapped in, ready to rock and roll here. Green flag in the air, up through the H pattern, and these glorious V8s come roaring to life here from Watkins Glen. It's a 2x2 affair. In fact, that 10 machine's going to pull ahead. That is Smallwood going big, going into turn 1. He is not afraid to send it on cold tires, and he is going to carry the torch here early on the initial opening lap here at Watkins Glen as this field now begins to snake uphill. Coming around the final corner there as we climb the uphill winding section, now into the DRS zone, now into the carousel. This is treacherous. You can get a lot of air there. You can see Smallwood giving it all the business. I believe all 4 tires came off the ground in that TRD-powered machine. In fact, he is starting to open up a gap almost a full second on that second place machine. In fact, that's officially 0.8 of a second now as we throw it in here to the carousel. Coming off the final corner here to complete lap 1, that 10 is a missile. Now almost a 2-second advantage for Isaac Smallwood. Oh, he gets a little loose there. You see the correction he has to make there on the steering wheel. Again, these tires are cold. It takes a couple laps for them to come up to temperature. I know the track temp's a little on the warm side of the spectrum, just over 100 degrees, but still, you got to get these Dr. Feelgoods, get some heat in these tires so they can start making some grip and really give that driver the assurance he's looking for inside the cockpit of that race truck. Let's go ahead and throw the timing tower back up on the screen for you guys. And again, cannot thank Johnny Johnson's enough for being the primary race sponsor this evening. As Isaac Smallwood continues to handle business early here at Watkins Glen. First Chevrolet in the field is going to be in that P2, the Napa Know-How machine being piloted by Nick Gardner. He runs in second. 2 Chevrolets in that second and third place position. So those are your podium drivers, and then 1 at 96 machine. Smallwood goes new fastest lap of the race. In fact, he busts into the 1 minute 12 second barrier. That is an absolute howitzer of a lap out there on the racetrack. David Taylor Jr. currently resides in that 4th place position. Toyota strong field again here tonight, and already up 4 positions. Michael Madden in the 15. He is on the move as well. That rounds out the top 5. As we're now 3 laps into this piece. See Madden there getting all the curbing. That sausage patty there on the entry of that corner. You know, to be quick through those S's, that bus stop, you got to get really aggressive and get really close to that Armco barrier. Just a couple inches of separation between you and that barrier is the fastest way to get through that section of the racetrack, and that's exactly what Madden was doing there. You know, I was talking about potentially one of the biggest moves of the race in Michael Madden. I had to reset the timing and scoring just to make sure this data is correct. Dylan J. Pass, not up 1, not 5, not 10, but 11 positions in 4 completed laps written here in the history books. That is big time impressive. Keep your eye on the 11. In fact, the number 11 is up 11 positions already, so thank him for your pick 4 lottery numbers tonight. If you should win, send him 25% for helping you guys out on the lotto side of things. In fact, what do you say we go on board Dylan Pass with Dylan J. Pass here in the early going? Let's see how he gets it done here around Watkins Glen. See that steering wheel input there, back on the accelerator pedal. You're going to hold it wide open here. You climb up through the gearbox. Then you have to be really aggressive here in this braking zone. And to see if he downshifts there, he doesn't. He really sends it through the corner. Back hard on the loud pedal right here. Going to shift, and then right almost as you catch 4th gear, you're going to be hard on the binders right here. Very easy to overcook this corner. Back in the day when this was called Bud at the Glen before the Zippo, and then the very generic Gold Bowling, probably one of the more boring race names on the NASCAR circuit if you ask me, but that used to be all sand trap up there, so if you went off the racetrack there, you were basically stuccoed. In fact, I spent more time in the sand here than David Hasselhoff back in the NASCAR NR days, as that was not paved up there. So A lot of changes here at Watkins Glen to improve the overall driving experience for the racers, the safety in that runoff area in turn one now. A much needed improvement. Should you miss, you can still continue on. Pass now continues to run down Dennis Steele, who currently owns that 11th place position. That's just in front of him. You're looking out. You're seeing the back of that Havoline machine out past his windshield. Let's go on board to the bumper cam here. There we go. Continue to really get a bird's. In fact, he's going to dive bomb him here going into one. What a big time move. Woo! I thought maybe it was a little early for that, but Pass just had so much momentum there in that Chevrolet. I mean, he just sent a Louisville slider and going into one, and he's already walked it out over that EcoBoost F-150 by over a second. Dylan J. Pass continues to be on the move, make that 12 positions as we now send it back up front. Your leader, Isaac Smallwood, continues to stretch things out here in the early going from Watkins Glen International. And folks, do not adjust. Your eyes are not playing tricks on you. I can promise you that. Already almost north, I should say, of 7.5 seconds over that second place machine. In fact, some of these drivers back outside the top 20, referring to drivers like Jesse Calloway, Nate Cogdell, they're already in jeopardy of going a lap down here in the upcoming laps. As Smallwood last time by 1 minute and 13 seconds continues to put up a blistering pace here early. Isaac Smallwood out there on a Sunday drive. No one even in the county relevantly close to him in his own sector of the racetrack. So we're going to focus to the attention right now where the business is hot and heavy, and that's going to be for third, fourth, and fifth. Or excuse me, that's second, third, and fourth. That's two Chevrolets. That's the 16 machine, the Napa Know-How ride, the 196 Caleb Kleinert, and then David Taylor Jr. in the 54. Some of the best battle on the racetrack right now. And folks at home, sometimes on the road course side of things, not only does that give the road aces their chance to shine in the series, sometimes things can get a little strung out. And that's probably what we're going to see here over the course of the run tonight. But you will have those isolated hot and heavy battles out here on the racetrack over the course of these 45 laps, and that's what we're seeing right here, right now. In fact, let's go on board with Taylor. Now working lap 8 of the scheduled 45, right in this lap 8 in the history books. Love the paint scheme on that 196 machine's ride just in front of Taylor. Let's see if he tries to do what Pass did just moments ago and just absolutely send it into turn one here in the braking zone. He's going to do that too. Hard on the binders right here. You do not want to lock up that right or left front there. That's a great way to take out the other truck. Oh, side by side forward affair here. Caleb is not wanting to give up this position. He got loose, or tight, I should say, on the high side of the racetrack. They are still side by side. It's a John Force special into the DRS zone. Let's see how big their lug nuts are on these race trucks coming into the carousel. Taylor gonna pull the flex. Brilliant move there by David Taylor Jr. That's now going to take him into that third and final podium place position. The Connors, Georgia man has the plan here early. And as promised, going to go back on board with Taylor here. Just wanted to capture that brilliant battle on the racetrack there as he was duking it out World War II trench warfare style. Now officially working lap 10 here at Watkins Glen. We're going to step aside and take our very first all-access, full coverage break. You're not going to miss anything. Stay right here with us on GRN. Race fans, welcome back to Watkins Glen International as the Metalheads Truck Series continues to rage battle here on the road course from the beautiful wine country of New York State. Kevin Winker up 10 positions already in that 42 ride. Great looking paint scheme on his truck once again this evening. Oh, good Lord Jesus, hold on to it. Looked like a little grudge match racing out there on the racetrack as he just uncorked a howitzer. Just tried to put a little whamma jamma out there on the racetrack. Not sure if he didn't see him there, but what great control there. As I thought someone was going to cook it into the safer barrier there. Because that is not an arm kill barrier there on the entrance to pit road. I thought that truck was going to take a hard right-hand turn there and smack the concrete, but not the case. Gotta say, this opening drive here by Dylan J. Pass is extremely impressive, as he's already climbed up 14 positions. Just absolutely incredible work. Send it back up to the front of this thing. Smallwood continues to lead, now working on lap traffic. Nate Cogdell there in the 00, currently running in that 22nd position. Admire his effort, the fight that he put up there, but Smallwood just has just an incredible pace right now in that TRD-powered 10 machine. In fact, he's in his own zip code right now. The last time by, Smallwood just ran a 1 minute 13 seconds .90. So basically just under a 1 minute 14 second lap time. Everyone else is in the very high 114s to mid 115 second range. So you can see just how much more pace is in that Bass Tracker TRD powered Toyota versus the competition right now, and it is showing here early. Smallwood enjoying the distance from California to New York City, basically out there on the racetrack. Is the interval is 13.5 seconds and climbing. Nick Gardner there in the 16 continues to be impressive here, up one spot from where he started in that second place position. That's going to be our first caution of the race. Yellow flag displayed on the racetrack. So this is going to slow things down, bring that iRacing.com pace truck out on to the circuit. James Cattori had an off-track moment. Let's go back and check that out. Let's go ahead and slow it down to playback here. See what went wrong. Focusing there on that 38 machine, just overcooked the corner. And again, able to bring it right back onto the racing surface, and that's all thanks to the updates and improvements they made here throughout this road course. Again, back in the day, there used to be sand there, and a lot of times you either get stuck there or cruise and surf right through the sand into the barrier. But in this case, no harm, no foul. Currently, send it back now to the live side of things. That iRacing.com pace truck leads the field into the S's. Top of the hill here. So these drivers now had roughly 16 laps to shake out their race truck. Give them a chance to think about what they can do to improve throughout certain sectors of this racetrack. It looks to be a little slick in spots out there. And again, if we let's check back in on the weather. Track temp still holding steady at that century mark, so it's still a bit greasy. Partly cloudy skies, 25% relevant humidity. It's up 2%. That's going to really not play a factor. 85% ambient air temperature, and the winds again at 3 miles an hour in sim time. 15:54, or roughly 3:54 p.m., so just shy of 4 o'clock here Eastern time in the sim. There should be a come one, come all down pit road, or at least I thought that's going to be the case. The only taker looks to be the leader, Smallwood, who had a huge advantage is now going to get mired back in traffic, so I can almost certainly guarantee you this is race strategy here. He probably had this planned out from the get-go. Watch him lock it down into his pit box here again. Don't want to go across any of those white line markers inside of that pit box. You have to put it in reverse before the pit crew can go to work. Looks like Taylor's going to come down pit road. Matt Hayden as well. Dylan Pass. We're going to stick with Taylor here as he comes off of pit road. Or excuse me, Taylor's going to take over the lead in the 54 machine from not coming down pit road. At least that's what timing and scoring has that pegged right now. We'll see how the order shakes out here and recycles after our telemetry updates. Curious about the pit strategy here. I'll throw that up on the screen for you here. So Taylor Pass, 13 laps. You can also see the position change. So the big winner there is Pass, now up 21 positions. If 14 in the early going was enough, likes to stay out on the racetrack, is going to gain a bunch more spots. And suddenly Pass has went from the back of the pack to the front of this thing, potentially looking to restart, at least right now, in that third place position. Timing and scoring is updated. Pass being scored in that second place position. So David Taylor, Dylan Pass came down on lap 13. And then from 5th on back, so that's going to be that TRD that's going places here. Had a lot of boogie under the hoodie early here. Isaac Smallwood from 5th place on back, all down on lap 16. So that's going to be positions 5th, virtually through, looks like P19, which is Nate Cogdale, and some other trucks outside of the top 20 down on lap 13 as well. Now officially working lap 18 out of the scheduled 45 into the books as we speak under yellow flag conditions. However, those lights are out on the iRacing.com pace truck. We're ready to turn it back to the wild side here at Watkins Glen, this time by. And you're thinking about joining the GRN family, it's simple. Smash the like button, ring the bell, come home to 6 days of high-flying, high-octane racing action right here on Ghost Racing Network. And on top of that, you'll get notified each and every time the Metalheads Truck Series brings the war to the racetrack each and every Monday night, so you won't miss a bit of the action right here on Ghost Racing Network. How about a little Chevrolet on Toyota action on the front row? That 11 machine was really good in that dirty air. Let's see how it responds with clean air. You would think it would be better, but I've seen it go both ways here. Another strong truck here, going to have the button when we go back green, and David Taylor Jr. Let's go on board with Pass for this restart. That iRacing.com pace truck pulls off. Waiting on the Geico restart zone. We're in there, and he's going to pull the trigger and let it rip. Drop the hammer. Here we go. What a restart there by Taylor. He's going to jump in front of Pass as he sends it back down into one. That Goodyear machine also slung by on the inside. What a move by Kevin. Suddenly, Dylan J passes back to third. He lost 2 spots on that restart going into 1. But hey, you know what? I don't mind that call here. You got to survive to be alive. You can't win it on lap 1. And speaking of surviving and being alive, Kevin going to give that spot back up as he went into the grass there. What in the... What a crazy sequence of events. The 17 gets the spot on the restart, has a miscue there. Pass was able to get back by, but the 17 wasn't having any of it as he strong arms him into the bus stop and retakes that second place position. Now getting back up to speed. Is already 20 laps written in the history books as it's 2 by 2. There's another big time move there from the 5 ride. That's Matt Hayden making some noise here, up 2 spots. Now owns that third and final podium position here. Your 2023 Twisted Chassis Truck Series champion. So obviously Matt Hayden, a force to be reckoned with. Beautiful Eagle 1 looking paint scheme on his ride here tonight. A lot of time left on the board for Hayden to continue to climb that scoring pylon. You see that caution really is racked and stacked the field on top of one another. We're back to fast and furious action all over this racetrack, nose to tail right now, literally. Well, this is currently going on the racetrack. Jacob Ellison had a moment out there on the racetrack. Let's go back to the GRN instant replay here and see what went wrong. Going to throw it up here to the eye in the sky. Again, we're focusing on the 97 of Ellison here. Something's going to pop off going into 1. So far, so good. Oh, he's just going to miss the corner there. Remember, folks, when I was telling you earlier, you don't want to lock that right or left front tire up. If you do, that truck's going to turn into a snowplow. That's exactly what happens, and he goes up there and mashes, gives it the biscuits. Into that safer barrier. That's certainly going to be some damage to the front of that machine. In fact, let's go VHS mode here. Let's roll this back. Back to the start-finish line here. Let's jump on board. And see him at 300-yard marker there. Jumps on the binders, gives it a little too much. That truck just turns into a ski and bonsai. See pieces of that truck go flying. Yeah, he's going to have some steering damage there. You see the toe knocked out now as well. That's going to be a handful for Jacob Ellison. Hey, when all the graphics and statistics tonight, they're kind of doing their own thing. SDK recently did an update here, and it is fun trying to hold on to all the controls here. Rusty up 7 spots here, inside the top 5, solidified. In fact, he's entrenched himself in that 4th place position. Taylor continues to lead as he now stretches it out a little bit. In fact, that lead now just over a second for Taylor. That last time by, Kevin, in that Chevrolet, notably faster, a 1 minute 14.08 to a 1:14.71. So that Chevrolet is coming. Remember, he put a big-time move there on the restart there. Kind of got caught up in the weeds with John Deere mode, and then somehow was able to out-muscle a contender into the corner there. Got P number 2 back. That was a big-time move. Here's your 2023 champion, Hayden, starting to turn up the excitometer inside the cockpit of the 17. Let's go on board with the champ. Beautiful entry and corner exit there. You see a little flick of the steering wheel. You know, these trucks, remember, they're not like the next gens. These have solid rear axles, truck arms. They're going to have a track bar, just like the cars dating all the way back to the 1960s and 70s. So you can actually use these sausage patties, the curving here. Oh, he's going to get a run along the side of him. Go ahead and widen back out here. What a beautiful pass there by Hayden. So check the box. That's going to move him up into the bridesmaid position. Made quick work there of the 17. As we go back on board with Hayden. Coming up through the S's here, that's an area of the racetrack where you have to be one with the binders and with the throttle pedal. You want to be smooth and fluent there to carry the most speed through that sector, or that section of this racetrack, and have a good strategy vector. Again, he's really impressive through this section of the racetrack right here. That twitch right there you're seeing, that's all part of the game, folks, to carry good time there. Ooh, he gets a little loose off the corner there. It was good. Your Eagles could be starting to come feel bads if he's pushing too hard. Remember, that racetrack temp still hovering at that century mark. Beautiful entry there into one. He's just up on the wheel getting it done right now. Next truck inside for Hayden, that's going to be your leader, David Taylor Jr. It's a little off course there, no harm, no foul. Watch how he attacks here in the bus stop. He gets those tires up in the air, both sides. He is just full send right now, trying to run Taylor down. See how these lap times here look at the line as we're coming off the final corner. Really curious to see how Taylor and Hayden are trending against one another here. Taylor slightly faster, a 1:14.31 to a 1:30. Oh, excuse me, that's a second difference just about. So Hayden was able to turn up the wick. He came in that time. He broke it back into the 1 minute 13 second 0.70 to the leaders, 1:14.31. So I was there. Hayden has turned it up here, trying to run down that lead Toyota. In fact, Toyota runs 1-2. Then you have the first Chevrolet, the Goodyear ride. He's the first manufacturer other than Toyota. Currently owns that third place position, but Rusty and Caleb Kleinert are hunting him down right now. In fact, this is a great battle here on the racetrack. These guys kind of picking up where they left off before that first caution flag. 17 there, peeks to the inside. Takes a defensive position there. Oh, the 6 is going to get a little rowdy there. So he shoves it back onto the racing surface. Again, this is 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. don't forget about Smallwood. Remember, he had the truck to beat here in the early going. That thing was a missile. And he has now climbed his way all the way back to that 7th place position. It is getting good in the neighborhood. Smallwood has a ton of confidence inside the cockpit of that truck. He's going to get another one here, claim another life going into the bus stop on entry. I mean, he is rocking right now inside of that race truck. Go on board to his nose camera here. This is going to give you about as real as it gets. Real in the field right now as it is out here on the racetrack. I know things get rowdy at Talladega when we're 2 and 3 wide at over 190 miles an hour, but I'm telling you, road course racing can be highly underrated, especially at times like this, as you're on board with Isaac Smallwood trying to reclaim the lead here as he continues to charge back up the scoring pylon. Oh, he administers a shot to the back of the 6. Shots fired. He absolutely pokes him in the business end. That's going to allow the 196 incliner to get back by. I mean, that cost Smallwood a ton of momentum. I have to imagine he may have suffered some front-end damage there. I don't know how he did not punt Rusty out of the way. That was a big-time hit. That was a little more than bringing the chrome horn. Rusty was the guy that just got his bell rung there moments ago by Smallwood. And another great piece of driving out here from these drivers out here on the racetrack. These guys just do such a great job, have the situational awareness, the veteran experience, the poise behind the wheel to be able to take a shot like that and hold it straight. That is just absolutely incredible. Oh, just as I say that, I invoke the broadcaster's curse. Rusty, I apologize for that. The force is strong with me on that. And I ain't kidding, guys. 8 times out of 10, I start pumping up a driver and bad things happen to him. So we're going to go back up to the front of this thing. David Taylor continues to basically run a pace fast enough to keep Hayden behind him. However, he is lurking. And excuse me, I did say lurking, however, that is not Hayden in the 54. Hayden is in the 5 ride, and that's going to be about 4 seconds back. So Taylor able to stretch it out now and give himself a pretty comfortable lead here in that Toyota. Smallwood just continues. To destroy iRacing lives here on the racetrack, as he is now already back up to 2nd. This Hartford man is a rocket here at Watkins, Glen. In fact, with that Bass Tracker scheme on that truck reminded me of Martin Truex Jr. back in his championship run in 2017. I mean, look at the aggression. Just the confidence is just oozing out of that Bass Tracker Boats number 10 right now. $16 laps to go. Let's go through the field here. Starting with David Taylor Jr. He has been your leader since we had that first caution flag out earlier on the racetrack. Smallwood, the rocket here early before that first caution flag, got mired back in traffic and has absolutely just Apologize, my mic cut out there for a second as I was saying. Smallwood able to just climb back through the competition. Almost like a walk in the park. As he is now somehow back up to P2. Caleb Kleinert having a great run here and rounds out that third place position while running in fourth, the Toyota, the number 6. He has been fun to watch, had his handful out there at times. That is Rusty Modesty in that fourth place position. Matt, the man in that 318 machine, currently rounds out your top 5, while Dylan J. Pass continues to be the second biggest mover of the race. As he gets a little off track there, he's going to go get a little do a little weeding there through the S's. No harm, no foul. He's going to continue on in that 6th place position. Michael Newman now becomes the biggest mover of the race, and that is a beautiful looking paint scheme of that Wisconsin lacrosse driver's Chevrolet out there in competition. And again, like I was saying last week, guys, some of the best paint schemes I've seen in any truck league during my tenure up here in the booth. These are some great looking trucks out here again at Watkins Glen. As Newman holds on to 7th, 8th. Nick Gardner in that Chevrolet, that Napa know-how. Michael Waldrop throwback paint scheme. 9th belongs to Clinton Woodby as he's going to take that Navy-powered machine down pit road. Keith Prince rounds out that 11th place position. Another Chevrolet there in 12th. Drivers coming down pit road. Oh, we got... Okay, I see why now. We have some big-time damage out there. No, we were going through the field. But something happened with Smallwood. What happened to Smallwood here? Remember, he was a big factor in this race early. And let's try it again. Oh, good Lord. For some reason, the replay that just prompted up here that in the black box on mine, this actually happened a little bit earlier in the race. And just as we're showing a big-time don't stain your ride, use tide moment of the race for Smallwood, if you go back to the live side of things, he is now your leader in the 10. With just 13 laps to go, Isaac Smallwood started up near the front, was able to drive away from competition, got off cycle here with his pit strategy, got mired back deep in traffic and able to just claw and fight his way back to the front. Smallwood once again, fastest truck out there on the racetrack. With just 12 laps to go, we're going to step aside, pay some bills, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to Watkins Glen for the conclusion of on GRN. Race fans, welcome back to Watkins Glen International Raceway here from the Finger Lakes region of New York. As Isaac Smallwood was just down on pit road completing his money stop of the race. That service complete, back up through the gearbox, through the H pattern, back out on the racetrack. However, he is slid back to that 5th place position. Can he climb the ranks? Can he do it one more time? That's going to turn the lead over to Kleinert. However, he is now down for his final stop. Remember, he last pitted as he continues to crawl at that slow pit road speed. Feels like an eternity for the driver of the 196 as he locks it down in his box. See the jack going up there on the race truck, taking tires from Dr. Feelgoods, filling it back up with Sunoco Racing Fuel. The jack's going to drop. Perhaps waiting on fuel. That's exactly what he was doing. And down and away as we cycle through pit stops. You guessed it. David Taylor is going to re-inherit the lead here in that 54 machine. He last came down pit road on lap 31. In fact, let's throw the pit road strategies up there for the top 8 so you guys can see how the competition is attacking the pit side of things here at Watkins Glen. A lot of different strategies, and that's very typical at a racetrack like this. Because right now, Taylor had the right strategy plan when it comes to when to execute on pit road, also getting it done. Some of the best time deltas on and off pit road. So that's from the time they hit the commitment code in, completing their service, and then exiting off pit road. Taylor getting it done in the pits as well as, of course, out there on the racetrack as well. Isaac Smallwood. His best lap of the race, also fastest lap across the competition here tonight. Fastest driver in the field, clocking in at 1:12.32. Let's see how much pace he was holding back. You can see him trying to build some heat there in those Goodyear Eagles, as he basically has less than 8 laps to go up there. Track down David Taylor Jr. Remember, catching him is one thing, passing them is another. And I can promise you Taylor Jr. is going to put up a bigger fight, especially as we're getting down here to go time with just less than 7 laps remaining here at Watkins Glen. Jump on board here with Smallwood again as he continues to go to work, taking care of business. Look at the closing rate from Smallwood. This guy is just absolutely next level right now. Gonna send it in the corner, and he makes quick work of David Taylor. I mean, he passed him like he was standing still. I can't believe it. I thought that was going to be a battle closer to what we've seen on Sunday between SVG and Busher. But Taylor could just be deploying a veteran move there, understanding, hey, Smallwood has got a lot more pace than I do right now. I'm going to give him the spot. Don't want to force myself into a mental error, overdrive the truck faster than it's capable of going out there on the racetrack and take away a good finish. So smart decision making, especially from a points perspective, for David Taylor as he currently runs in second. Smallwood continues to go high time here in prime time. Or I should say big time here in prime time. Now just 6 laps remaining. Last thing this driver wants to see is a full course yellow. Does not want to give these drivers a chance to restack the deck again. Wants this thing to stay lean, mean, and green until he sees a checkered flag. Handshake lap in the air. 5 remaining here from Watkins Glen. Isaac Smallwood continues to lead there in the TRD-powered machine. David Taylor Jr., currently in that second place position. Rounding out the top 3, Kevin in that Chevrolet, first Chevrolet in line. Matt Hayden in the 5 ride, your 2023 champion, runs just outside the money in that 4th place position. Ken Hanna in that Chevrolet, the 318, currently owns 5th. And my son is upset. It's okay. Matt Hayden, he may not win this race, buddy, but he was a champion last year for a reason. I'm sorry if he's bleeding over into the microphone, into the broadcast, folks. But clearly, he has picked his favorite driver here in the series, and that's why you got to come back and watch it with your father next week. Well, son, that's a life lesson right there. Sometimes you can't win each and every time. But it's important to go out there and put forth your best effort and give it everything you got regardless. And that's exactly what Matt Hayden is doing right now, bud. Going to see if one of the pit crew guys can go over here and pick him up for me and take him off to bed. Give him a pit stop on the way. In fact, with just 4 laps remaining, we're going to step aside and take our last all-out coverage break. You're not going to miss a thing right here on GRN. Race fans, welcome back to Watkins Glen as popsicle sticks in the air. Just 2 laps remaining for the force in the form of Isaac Smallwood, who has went big beyond the atmosphere here. In fact, he has been absolutely nuclear here at times out here on the racetrack. So he got a Nissan GTR with all-wheel drive and 1,000 horsepower underneath that TRD powered machine, as he has just literally high-fived it on the way by. David Taylor said, "I'll see you later," and he has taken it to B-Town. His white flag in the air one more time around this facility in Watkins Glen here in wine country for Smallwood. He's going to send it up the winding hill here. The winding SS here at Watkins Glen for the final time. He's going to wave hi to the fans over there in the RV stands here. If you haven't went camping at this racetrack, you thought about going here, check it out. You will absolutely love it. Hard into the braking zone, into the bus stop for the final time. He'll send it in there. He'll get all of the curbing, the sausage patties, launch that front of that Toyota up in the air for one more time to this sector of the course. That slightly winding downhill sector of this race course. Howard back onto the loud pedal here. He's going to use up all of the racetrack going through that carousel. Hard into the braking zone once again for Isaac Smallwood. And coming off the final quarter, you can see the checkered flag being held by Barney in the air, and no one circles the wagons here like Isaac Smallwood, as he is the winner here at Watkins Glen International Raceway from the Finger Lakes region of New York. What an impressive, dominating performance from Isaac Smallwood, as he set an absolute blistering pace out there on the competition, but cannot discount the effort, the drive by David Taylor Jr., who comes home second. Matt Hayden, your 2023 points champion, in third. See, son, he still finished on the podium. He's calmed down. He's feeling better now. In case you guys were wondering at home, as he rounds out the top 3. Then you have the Chevrolets of Kevin, Ganana, and Kleinert that round out your top 5 and 6. And as always, we're going to speak to our top 3 finishers momentarily here on GRN, as Isaac Smallwood celebrates a statement-making win here at Watkins Glen. He is a force to be reckoned with on the road course side of things. So reminiscent of Martin Truex Jr. in his 2010 bid for the championship. Obviously, sporting, his colors there. Gonna burn it down, get the rest of the good out of those good years, buddy. You earned it, man. Your race-winning moment, as Johnny Johns presents the 110 here from Watkins Glen. And Smallwood goes big in prime time. Tell you what, if he went bowling, that was a perfect game for Smallwood. Just what an impressive performance. Get ready to talk to our top 3 finishers. Give a moment to jump up into the broadcast waiting room. And again, want to take another moment to thank all the partners, the sponsors, and especially our race sponsor tonight, Johnny Johns, for coming on board. Cannot thank them enough. And again, all these guys celebrating with their team really quick. See if we can get these guys up into the broadcast booth. It was working earlier. Now it seems to be giving me a problem, but I think I know why. Let's see if we got it here. Or you know what? I'm just going to see if I can come down to them. Matt Hayden, Matt up in the GRN broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I hear you, bud.
Well, hey, man. First of all, congrats on a strong run here tonight. My son was over here. He's 5, was having a nuclear meltdown when he first realized you weren't going to win this race. But I told him, hey, you can't win them all, but it's important to be strong and be fierce out there on the racetrack and go after those points. That reminded him next week could be an entirely different story. You were the 2023 champion, but how were you able to put together such a strong run here in prime time against such fierce competition?
Yeah, I think most of us were chasing second. Isaac was setting some blazing laps in practice and kind of walked away in that first stage. So I think we were all kind of just fighting for second there. So no, I just needed points. Fell behind earlier this season with some DNFs and some unfortunate events. So just happy to post a good finish and get some good points out of it.
No, you certainly did, and you had to go out there and work for it. In fact, it was a Toyota top 3, so obviously Isaac Smallwood, David Taylor, and yourself holding it down for Team TRD. Talk to me about the track conditions out there. The drop of the green flag, it was over the century mark. Track temp is about 102 degrees. How did that translate to grip out there for you? And did you have to make any adjustments on how you would track or how you attack this racetrack due to those track temps?
Yeah, it was obviously slick. Me and some guys, we've got a Cup Series league that's on Tuesdays, and we ran about a 2-hour practice last night. Completely different than the Cup car. I don't normally say this very often, but the Cup car had way more grip and felt more attached to the track than the truck did. Was actually going, normally on an oval, you're taking front or you're adding front brake trying to get the thing to rotate. This was opposite. It was later in the run. The hotter those rears got, you were cranking brake back. I don't know, man. It was a lot of fun though. You feel like you actually were wheeling the truck around in the corners and stuff like that. So it made it fun and had that last little mix up with Kevin Sadler deal, which was fun. Cause like I said, we all kind of got stuck in a rhythm and didn't feel like I was really racing anybody till that last 2 laps.
Well, I'll tell you what, you certainly turned the wake up those last 2 laps, as it was exciting to watch up here in the broadcast booth. Matt, before I cut you loose, who do you want to thank who helps you get it done on the 5 ride?
Yeah, just want to thank everybody, teammates, Misfit Motorsports. Kevin had a good run. He raced me clean at the end there, so we didn't obviously want to end up wrecked with 2 top 5 finishes. Rusty fell back just a little bit, but a good run for him. Jimmy missed out today. He had knee surgery, so road courses probably aren't the thing for him to get back into. But we'll looking forward to getting him back in here, and thank Lindsay Fitzmaurice for everything she does for us.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen, your 2023 Twisted Chassis Truck Series champion. Not in winning form here tonight at Watkins, Glen, but a very methodical, veteran approach to this race. The mindset tonight inside the ride of his truck, capitalize and maximize on points, and he does exactly that as he comes home third. Thanks for joining us up here in the booth, bud.
Appreciate it, Matt.
Yes, sir. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, going to speak to our second place finisher here tonight. Another Toyota getting it done here in prime time. David Taylor, do you got a copy, bud?
Yeah, gotcha, Matt.
Not sure if you heard my interview I just had moments ago, but Toyota owned the top 3 podium positions here tonight. Talk to me about your race this evening. And when you took the green flag, obviously you probably had a plan on how you wanted to approach this race. Did you have to make any adjustments over the course of the run tonight to kind of put yourself in position to be here in that second place position, or was it pretty much smooth sailing from you from the get-go?
Yeah, you had to make a little bit of adjustment the more you got in the run. Matt kind of alluded to it earlier. as you made your laps, the rears got hot. You lost more grip. The track being 100 plus degrees didn't really help, and you kind of had to just kind of take each corner like it was your first time taking it. It's super fun. I like this track a lot because you're constantly, two hands on the wheel. There is not much time to look around. Um, you're full focus, and it made it a lot of fun for 45 straight laps.
You know, you mentioned this track can be technical, a lot of high speed sectors. What exactly does it take to go out there and it put up the type of pace that you did for 110 miles here tonight? Walk these folks at home around this place.
Well, I'll be honest. I know the winter has a dirt background, and I know I have a dirt background, and it definitely helps because your truck will be sideways at some point or another. You got to be comfortable with it getting sideways a little bit. You gotta, like I said, you gotta drive it. There's a couple times, especially at the top of the S's, it's gonna feel like it's gonna want to spin out, but you pretty much got to hammer down and just wheel it out. But it's like you said, it's technical, heavy braking, high speeds. Left and right corners. It's got it all. So, like I said, it made it a lot of fun.
Yeah, certainly. I really enjoyed how you were attacking that bus stop, just getting all the tires sometimes on that curbing, getting all four up in the air, and watching you slide that back end around as you mentioned. But like you said, that's how you get the pace to run around this place fast. It was certainly thrilling to watch you out there tonight in competition. Before I cut you loose, man, who do you want to thank who helps you get it done?
Yeah, thanks to my new teammates this week, Colton, and obviously congrats to Isaac. Like Matt said, we were all racing for second there. Isaac's he's got some experience. He knows what he's doing. Even on a bad night, he's class of the field. So congrats to him. Obviously congrats to Matt for a nice top three there. It's small mistakes is all it takes, and they ran almost a perfect race there. And then thanks to Mushroom Top Tea, they're on the truck again this week, and probably for the rest of the season. Great tea company over there. If you're interested in any kind of herbal remedies or medicines or teas, check them out at mushroomtoptea.com. And then thanks to Nate and all the sponsors for this league on. The admins. I know it's not easy to race and do race control. And then thanks to you for putting on an awesome broadcast. And then thanks to my fiance for letting me do this.
Well, David, first of all, thank you for the compliment. I certainly appreciate that, and it's a real honor to watch you and the rest of the guys in this league go out there and put on the type of competition each and every Monday night here in prime time. It's absolutely 100% best show on iRacing, in my opinion, especially on the truck side of things. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen, David Taylor, taking that real-life dirt track experience to a slick road course, being able to stay in the cockpit and get up on the wheel and absolutely sending it here at the racetrack. Comes up just a little bit short. David Taylor in that second place position. Thanks for joining me up here in the booth, bud.
Thank you, Matt. And also shout out to my dad watching at home.
Hey, that's another thing. I want to always appreciate all the family, the fans. That's one of the reasons why we do these broadcasts here on Ghost Racing Network. So appreciate all the viewers at home, especially as David Taylor Jr. said, shouting out his pops for being along for the ride and having a great finish here tonight. Well, folks, that means 2 down, 1 to go. And if you heard from the last 2 drivers we just interviewed, said he was the class of the field here tonight. Isaac Smallwood, Matt up top, you got a copy, boss.
What's going on, buddy?
Hey, man, you're what's going on here tonight. That pace that you put up in that truck, I mean, I was refreshing timing and scoring to making sure that I was seeing your lap times correct. I don't think I've seen a drive like that here at Watkins Glen. And this is my home. This was my home track. I grew up in Buffalo, New York, so a few hours away from this place. Walk me through your race tonight. Obviously, you started up front, a little bit of a different pit strategy, got mired back in traffic, but we went on board with you throughout the time of this race, and you were able just to click spots off like it was not even a contest to you at times. And then at the end, just so much pace in your truck. How were you able to put together such a strong performance from start to finish?
A lot of practice. We We've had a lot of practice here from last week to weeks prior. I love this track. I put in a lot of time here, even if I'm not racing there. And I've in prior leagues, I've always shifted early, and I've saved my right rear tire, and that really helps out in the long run where it doesn't want to kick out on you or stuff like that. So I've took my knowledge from leagues prior, all the practice, and we just wanted to click laps, keep the rear end under us, and march forward.
Yeah, well said, and I appreciate your insight there. You actually had a little bit of a, you probably had the don't stay your ride, use tide moment of the race out there on the racetrack too, where you had a little mishap getting into one. Walk me through that incident on the racetrack.
Yeah, that whole incident started there on the start. We had a fortunate break, getting stage points and then coming out top 5 after the stage. And just on that start, didn't get ran through, but we lost a couple spots there and got stuck behind a couple cars. And I was just overdriving over top of my head and went too far to the outside and slipped up in the grass, and we about lost it.
I got scared when I see the notification in the black box and I seen your name. I was sitting there before I watched the replay. I was like, oh, Lord, no, because I have seen in my time in the broadcast booth where drivers having a similar performance where you're just lights out, just, executing at such a high level and something horrible goes wrong on the racetrack. And I started to watch it back and I got worried. And that just talk to me. How were you able to save that truck? And then obviously that must have heated up the tires a little bit. How were you able to cool them back down under green flag conditions and get the performance back on track in that Toyota?
Yeah, honestly, the fronts were what got the warmest. Fortunately, the rear tires were in the grass, so they really didn't heat up that much. And I waited till later in the run to start making my moves because I knew I was saving my tire just a little bit more than everybody else. So I waited till a little bit later in the run to start making my moves, and I finally got the clean track and I started pushing hard and got up to the lead there. And I tried to open up as much as a gap as I could, and then coming to pit road, I messed up. Coming to pit road, I lost probably a second and a half. Went off the track in turn 6 it was, and we came out about 3 seconds behind, and we just kind of tried to march forward there. We pushed as hard as we could without wrecking the thing. So we were fortunate enough there, and we were able to pick up the W.
Well, thank you very much again for joining me up here in the broadcast booth once again, Isaac. But before we cut you loose, you know the deal. Who do you want to thank? Who helps you get it done on the 10?
Like David said earlier, we just really recently became teammates, and we try to work together as much as we can. And we tried to get Colton a good run for us, and just wasn't in his favor. He's working on it, working on the road course skills, but definitely them two, David and Colton, we try to work together as much as possible. And you put on this awesome broadcast, and just everybody else that puts this show together.
Well, I'll tell you what, your new teammates certainly in good hands and great mentors, obviously, in yourself and David. And I'm sure you heard me tell the other drivers, great outing for Toyota tonight. 1, 2, and 3 on the podium. So you probably couldn't ask for much more. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Haven't you heard big things come in small packages? Isaac Smallwood goes big time in prime time here in Watkins, Glen, with a thrilling performance, claims the big W here from Wine Country. Isaac, thanks for joining me up in the GRN broadcast booth.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And I also want to give a shout out to Matt, too. He had a good run there.
Yeah, Matt, still learning all the drivers here. Yeah, but absolutely. You guys, for the first couple races, I have been thoroughly impressed, and you guys are always circled on my calendar. Look forward to watching you guys next week throughout, continue on the season up here in the booth, bud.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you, bud. Appreciate your time, man. Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen, your top 3 finishers tonight here from Watkins Glen. Look for Smallwood to carry the momentum. In fact, all 3 drivers that finished inside the top 3 tonight to carry on that momentum next week as we continue to charge on through the course of the season. Again, want to thank Johnny Johns for the primary race sponsorship deal here tonight. All the strategic partners and sponsors. Without you guys, a series couldn't be possible. We want to thank all the men and women behind the scenes for all your hard work and dedication to the league. And it's at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, where all good things must come to an end, including this broadcast. I want to thank everyone for joining me here live on Ghost Racing Network. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn on bell notifications so you get notified the next time Metalhead's Truck Series goes live in primetime right here on Ghost Racing Network. And as the late, great Tony Trapasso used to say, as you walk down the road of life, ladies and gentlemen, do us all a favor. Don't play in traffic, and we'll see you next time right here on Ghost Racing Network.